So last night I got home from the Kayak Anglers Championship, which we held on the Susquehanna River this year. And I'm reflecting a bit right now about everything that went down. Caught some pretty good fish. I think the event went well. Despite the weather conditions, we had to make some last minute changes and really change things up and not fish where we intended to originally. But all that aside, I had a chance to go out and fish on Friday before the event, which took place on Saturday. And I was in a new area on the Susquehanna, and there's a couple things I always keep with me when I go on a kayak trip. One is an extra paddle, one is an extra PFD, and when the weather gets to be about what it is right now here in October, November, and later, I'm carrying an extra change of clothes. Now, I actually had all those things. Typically, I have a paddle in the boat. I was, switching kayaks. I do have a spare. It's a Bending Branches Angler Classic, and it's adjustable, so it pretty much fits any boat if I was to forget a paddle or if a friend needed to borrow one. So, for me, it's helpful to just keep it in the boat. But anyway, I was doing some switching of kayaks, and I actually left it in the crack, and I was fishing some big water and some heavy winds. Going out to a river system, I was taking the Kilroy DT. But I still had another paddle in the back of my truck. The excitement of the fishing, I guess, got the best of me, and I didn't put it in my DT. And when I'm on rivers, I'm not a big fan of leashes, so I didn't have a leash on my paddle. I ended up hooking into a fish. The winds really started to pick up and quite frankly get pretty dangerous. And I lost my paddle, and I didn't even know that I lost it. I took a bunch of pictures of the fish and actually made some more casts even from that same spot where I caught him. I had my river stick down, so my boat wasn't really moving, but the wind was actually pushing me upstream, and the current, which there wasn't a ton of current, it was still moving, it was obviously going in the other direction. So it was a pretty weird dynamic, but basically I thought it was fine sitting in one spot and not realizing that I lost my paddle. When I started to look for it, I kind of panicked, and luckily I was with somebody else. My friend Alex was there. Ended up going ashore, beaching the boat, and took his paddle out to find mine, which actually was pretty easy to find. It really didn't move. I think with the current and the wind, it pretty much stayed where it was. It was a Bending Branches Angler Ace, which floats. So that's I think most of your high-end paddles out there are gonna float. But anyway, it was pretty close to where I thought I might have gone in. So anyway, I think this is a good reminder, especially with this time of year, to always be prepared for something unexpected. I also think it's a good reminder to start thinking about some things in my kayak that I can do to make sure it doesn't happen again. And I think one of those things is to perhaps put the Yak Attack paddle holder on there. I'm probably gonna order one of those from Fishing Online here soon. So I don't think you can be too prepared. And I just sure wish I would have taken the extra second that I would have taken to put that extra paddle inside the Kilroy DT, which I could probably, fit about 20 paddles into, because it's so big. But anyway, give it a look. Hope it's a good reminder for everybody out there that doesn't think about an extra paddle. But if I hadn't been with somebody else, I would have really had to get creative and think of ways to get that paddle back. And I'm not sure what I would have done if I hadn't had a friend out there with me.